Good evening, all. Thank you, Mustafa. Yes, meeting you all once again is really a pleasure for me. Very good evening, Deepika, Shamli, Shakti, Medha. Good evening to all present. Indrani. Indrani, you're not there in the morning class. Chalo. So let us get on to the topic. A very important one in GST. I explained the relevance of this topic. I explained you the basis, how we have come to this topic of place of supply, why this topic is required. Chalo, let me first hear from you any questions, queries relating to this topic or any concept. Anybody wants to add something, ask something, ask query on anything? Yes, good evening, Gunjan, Devi. Good evening, Prajapati. Beta, what is your name? I forgot. Yes, good evening, Prerna. Okay, Indrani, that's why. Fine. Yes, Mustafa. Thank you. Okay, you are Namrata. Fine. Yes, good evening, Jaya. Let me know your doubts to be interactive. I like students to think, come to me with their queries, with their doubts. Yes, good evening, Sony. Good evening, Ali. Anil. Chalo. So we are in the topic of place of supply. Of supply is dependent on the destination concept of GST. So effectively, place of supply is the destination state where the revenue of GST, the S portion in the GST, would be going. That is what is the meaning of destination, and that is what is the relevance of place of supply. As we discussed in the previous class, it is practically not possible always to find out the actual place of supply. It may not necessarily be the physical destination, and that is where this concept of place of supply is relevant. So we are in this very interesting part of this topic. So broadly, there are 4 sections, all from the IGST Act. This whole chapter is based on IGST Act. The 4 sections dealing with place of supply are section 10, 11 for goods, 12, 13 for services, 10 for place of supply of domestic transaction of goods, that is other than import export, 11 place of supply for import exports, not part of your syllabus, 12 place of supply for domestic transaction of services, that is where the supplier recipient both are from India, 13 where one of the person is from outside India, which is the international transaction of services, again not covered in your syllabus. Now we started with section 10. In section 10 you have total 6 case scenarios given, and in this 6 case scenarios there are different provisions to determine the place of supply. Now, what will be the place of supply for each of these scenarios? That is what we started discussing. First thing that we discussed was subsection 2, which is the residuary provision, which says that if there is any scenario which is not covered in the above 6 cases, in that particular case, the place of supply would be fixed by making rules. That is what is the meaning of in the manner prescribed. So whenever you get this phrase, manner prescribed, it means they are talking about the GST rules. You'll find this prescribed word multiple times in the act. Wherever you find this word, you have to remember that there is some rule made for that particular purpose. As of now, no such rules are made relating to this section for determining the place of supply. Then we started discussing each of the place of supply provisions. So we started from clause E and going backward. So what does clause E deals with? Clause E deals with the scenario where you are traveling, and where you are traveling, that is while you are in the journey, you order some goods, you purchase some goods. Here, if you remember, we tried to discuss and uh, take a few examples to distinguish between what is supply of goods versus what is supply of service, because many times when you order food and the food is served to you, which is by making it hot, or it is served in such a form that you need to consume it, otherwise after some time it may not be consumable, then it is more towards the service component, and as per schedule 2 it is treated as supply of service. In that case, this section 10 bracket 1 clause E shall not apply, and we will see the provision in section 12, that is for services. However, when something is supplied to you in a packaged form, which can be consumed now or later, where no type of any service like either heating or chilling or serving is involved, then that is what is covered in 10(1)(e). That is where it will be supply of goods. Now, for such articles which are served to you while you are in journey and they are served to you on board. Served is the wrong word, sorry, when they are supplied to you or sold to you on board. On board means on the conveyance. Then the place of supply will be the place where these goods were onboarded, that is taken over that plane, taken over that particular train. So wherever these goods are onboarded the train, that place is the place of supply. Correct? And we had discussion taking various examples. Now here Kuldeep has some question. Sir, supply during train or air travel as per this section, and if goods are unpacked or packed makes the difference. Yes, so I think I just explained that, Kuldeep. So if it is packed, it is supply of goods. If it is unpacked and it is served to you, then it becomes supply of service. So firstly, you have to determine between whether it is supply of goods versus supply of service. And according to that, the answer will depend and it will change. So this section 10 will apply only when it is in the packaged form, so that it becomes supply of goods. Correct? Now, this is what section 10 bracket 1 clause E says. That is, the place of supply will be the place where these goods were taken over the plane or the train. That is, they were loaded on the plane or the train. Now, coming to clause D, which is a simple one again, it deals with those case scenarios where your goods are such that simply buying them is not sufficient. These goods, in order to make them usable, have to be installed or have to be assembled. So I took the example of air conditioning system, which has to be installed. Installed means fitted, wiring to be done to make it usable. And I also took the example of assembly, where nowadays people order furniture items online. Now, furniture are huge items. If you order a sofa set or a bed or a cupboard or any cutlery unit, all these are huge, or a bookshelf, but they come in one small such size of box. Like I ordered a book shelf. It was really beautiful. It was rather, it is a rotating bookshelf. So when I ordered it, the height is 6 feet and the width is around 2 feet roughly, and it is a round bookshelf and it rotates so that I can keep books on every side, and I can rotate and remove it. Now, when I ordered it, I received it in this much size carton, a carton of this much size, which is easily carried by that person. He came and delivered, and he said, "Ki, sir, your order." I was shocked to know that the bookshelf is inside that box. But then I was equally shocked because one, I thought that such huge books shelf is fitting in this, and second, then I was amazed at the engineering, that how beautifully they have made those pieces which were packed in this box. And there is a video tutorial available on their website as to how you can assemble it so that it becomes a proper bookshelf. Now, in this example, if I'm simply ordering the bookshelf, then it will not fall in D, because then there is no assembly involved. But I am taking that example where the supplier is delivering these goods and also arranging for assembly. So your contract involves purchase of goods plus also the assembly. So wherever assembly or installation is involved, obviously this has to be done at a particular location, at a particular site. The place of supply for such transactions of supply of goods will be the place where the goods are to be installed or where they would be assembled. Then we also dealt with this newly added clause CA. This is what is also called as OTC, over the counter sale, OTC sale or OTC supply. So this is the most simplest case scenario, again, where you are going to a shop or going to a mall and you go and buy stationery items, you go and buy any wearing apparel, any laptop, any other gadget. You generally buy it, until unless you are buying it online, you buy it from a shop. And whenever you are going to the shop, at times there is a possibility that your name itself is not asked. You simply ask for that article, you pay the price, and they will give you the bill. Like many times it happens in case of mall, they simply give you the bill, you take the bill, and the matter is done. There is nobody asking your name or your details. In that particular case, clause CA says where the goods are supplied to a person other than registered. So where you are an unregistered person having no GST registration, or even if you may be having, but since these are personal items, you have not mentioned your GST number. So it is a sale from B to C. We call it as B2C, means business to customer. That is where the buyer has not given the what you say GST number. In that particular case, there are two possibilities. If you give your address, the place of supply would be the address mentioned on the invoice, if the address is given. And in that particular case, the explanation says even giving only the name of your state is sufficient. You need not give your entire postal address or entire pin code, not required. You simply give the name of the state, and that will be considered as place of supply. However, where no address is given, like as I gave example many times in malls, they simply make the bill, nobody is asking your name also. In such a case, the place of supply will be the location of the supplier. That is, the place of supply will be the shop or the mall itself. So generally in case of shops and malls, many times your name, address, nothing is asked. So the place of supply is the shop itself. So by default, they will charge C plus S. Many times in case of online deliveries, definitely your address has to be written. In that case, the place of supply will be your address. And even in case of shops or malls where they only write the name of your state, let us say you specify you are in Delhi, but you specify that I've come from Rajasthan. You give them your basic address and they simply write the name of your state, Rajasthan. The place of supply for that transaction would be Rajasthan. This is what is clause CA dealing with. Yes, Gunjan Devi Beda, this is very well applicable to your exams because this amendment was now, I think, more than a year it is there. Correct? Gunjan Devi, is this your real name, Beda? Or you are logging in from your parents' this name? Okay. So until this, we had completed in the previous class. Anybody, any questions? Please feel free to ask, or else we proceed with the further pointers. Beta Mustafa, it will be IGST or CGST, SGST, how you decide? First is the location of supplier. What is the location of the supplier? It is the shop. So one thing is clear. Second is the place of supply. Now we are studying the place of supply here. So we are only studying the second point, place of supply. Location of supplier, we already know it is the shop from where the goods are sold. Now, if both these are same address, then it will be CGST, SGST, or even if both these are different address, but both addresses are falling in the same state, it is intra-state supply. Intra means within the state, and you charge CGST, SGST, half off. But where both these are different states, you will charge total GST called as IGST, and it is an interstate transaction. Last lecture, beta, we took multiple real examples. In fact, taking your everybody's name only, I crafted multiple examples to explain these three clauses. Correct? Yes, beta, Abhinav. I believe that where the drinks are packed, but they are served after chilling, then I believe it becomes a service, because see, you will not consume a cold drink or for that matter a fruit juice when it is warm. You always like to have it chilled. So when it is given to you chilled, in that case it becomes a service. So chilling and giving, according to me, is supply of service. It will be not falling in section 10(1)(e). For that we will study section 12. Correct? Yes, Mustafa. Then the place of supply is Rajasthan. Supplier or the location of supplier is Delhi. So it will be IGST, because they are in two different states. Correct, Mustafa? Now students, let us come to clause C. Now the difference between A, B and C is A and B both deals with the scenario wherever the goods are moving from one place to another. So there is a movement that is covered in A and B. C covers the scenario where there is a sale, there is a supply, but there is no movement of goods. Now, firstly, let us take examples where there is a sale, there is a supply, but there is no movement of goods. So pay attention. You are already having a shop. So Abhinav is having a, not say shop, let us say Abhinav, a chartered accountant, and he is having his office, right? Let me just assume Abhinav's office, let us say, is in Rajasthan, Jaipur. Now he is shifting to a bigger office. His practice is growing in leaps and bounds. So Abhinav is shifting to a bigger office. I am a newly qualified chartered accountant. I am okay with that particular small size office because my practice is still new. I'm just 3-4 years into my profession. So I'm okay with that much size office. So I contact Abhinav. I propose to Abhinav to buy his office on as is basis. What is this as is basis? So when you go to a office, you will find that if I let us say I'm buying this office from Abhinav, I'm buying the office space plus I'm buying all the furniture which is there as it is, plus I'm buying all the computers, the systems, the Wi-Fi units, the routers, the cupboards, everything which are there in his office on as is basis. That is where it is. As is where is basis. Now in such cases, when I'm buying this office, let us say the value is 2 CR, out of which 1.25 CR is towards the space, that is towards that particular office premises, which will be non-GST supply because of Schedule 3. Remaining 75 lakhs has a breakup that some 25 lakhs is towards the furniture, some 40 lakhs is towards all the computer systems, and some 10 lakhs is towards the other equipments like ACs and all. Now in this fashion, I buy his entire office for 2 CR, out of which 1.25 CR is no GST supply. It is a no supply transaction. Hence, there is no question of GST on that. But on this remaining 75 lakhs, there is GST. Now, in this case, what will be the place of supply? That is what is answered by clause C. So clause C is basically talking about the scenario where you are buying goods, but the goods will not leave the place. There will be no movement of the goods. So see what it says, where the supply does not involve movement of goods. Correct? So the goods will not move. This is what we technically call it as is, where is basis. So my supply is on as is, where is basis. So what will be the place of supply in such type of transactions? It is the place where the goods are. And anyway, since they are not going to move, there is no doubt, there is no dispute. The place of supply will be Jaipur, Rajasthan. That is location where presently all these furniture, computers, the ACs, all these systems are. That is what is as is basis supply, and that is what clause C says. Yes, Harsh Beda, thank you very much. Thank you. Now, is this clear to all students? Clause C. Anybody, any questions on this? Anybody having any other examples? See, you may take your examples. It is not necessity that you learn my examples. You can take your personal examples. You can give your personal examples, which you see day in, day out. Kuldeep, I already explained clause C, I think. Achha, you are giving me another question. If a company in Gujarat orders a unregistered person in Meghalaya to supply water tankers to its customer site at Assam. Kuldeep, we are coming to this. We are coming to this. This is covered in clause B. So your scenario is covered in clause B. Mustafa, if this is this an example of clause C? If I'm going to a gaming station and play games. Oh, Mustafa, first thing. Now, before you all go to a gaming station, please read the latest gaming laws, which the government has recently passed in the parliament before you go there. And I expect that my students are updated with that. So I'll not tell what those laws are. If anybody's updated, I would be happy to unmute you and listen from you what those laws are. But definitely, students, now you all are professional students, so be updated with the at least what affects us. So firstly, Mustafa, answering your question straight, your example is not falling over here. Why? Because if you go to a PlayStation and you are going there to play a game, it will be supply of service. It is not supply of goods. Correct? See, all sports, all games are legal, beta. So far as there is no betting involved. The moment that is betting, like all these now, make my team and what Dream 11, all these which you normally find during this IPL season, all are now going to, not going to means it is now banned. Already the bill is there and it will be very soon becoming an act. Yes, Anil is saying, sir, in case of purchase of land, real estate, the place of supply, beta, purchase of land. How can you give this example, Anil? You cannot give this example, beta. Why you cannot give this example? Purchase and sale of land. You cannot give this example. Why? Anybody? Why? Because it is a no supply schedule 3 para 5. No supply. If no supply, why to go further in the act? See, you should first see whether there is a supply. Only when there is a supply, you go and decide what is the nature of supply, what is the place of supply, what is the time of supply. If something is not a supply, why to go further? So the first thing that you should check in any transaction is it schedule 3? Is it satisfying definition of section 7 to become a supply? If the answer for this is yes, it is schedule 3, khatam, law is over for you. If your answer is ki it is not satisfying the conditions of section 7, again khatam, law is over. Tata, bye bye. I hope you all have heard this. This is a very famous meme. Tata, bye bye. So if this any of these things happen, it is schedule 3 or not satisfying section 7, Tata, bye bye. No need to read the act. You can very well skip that whole thing. Perfect. Anil, why capital gain? Please don't mix capital gain better here. Why you are mixing capital gain? Capital gain is altogether different concept. It is part of Income Tax Act. And let me tell you, students, on the same transaction, there will be both income tax and GST. There can be one of them, like in case of sale of land, there will be income tax but no GST. But that is not a reason why the other should be there or other should not be there. Correct? Mustafa, do you really believe in this future? Do you believe in this future, beta? Yes, you're right, Shamli. When building is taken on lease, it is a supply. It is a supply of service. Only sale of land and sale of completed building is not a supply. Adil, I believe it is not goods, but is it not service? So, Gunjan Devi, you said it is banned yesterday. So, is the bill passed? Am I not updated? I'll have to see my updates. My last update, which I read, if I have not missed something, was that the bill is. Achha, so it is passed. Abhinav is saying yes. Oh, great. Super. Then I'll have to check out for the bill and read it. Oh, excellent. So all your Dream 11 and all these things are gone. What is this? Band 2 crore fine RMG involved in band. I did not get this bit, Anubhav. 2 crore fine and RMG involved is banned. What is RMG? Acha, money, real money gaming. Okay, huh. So in short, betting and gambling. Okay. Yes. Afia Hashmi, you're right, Vida. Julie, correct. You're right. Okay. Fatima, Nausheen. Okay, Kuldeep. Shifting of office furniture from one office to another, where we are transferring our office. Okay, chalo. Indrani has given a scenario. Chalo, we can do it this way also. If you all have any scenarios, you can also give your scenarios. We'll discuss on your scenarios as well. Now, Indrani is giving me a scenario. Sir, shifting of office furniture from one office to another, where we are transferring our office. Whether clause C will apply. Chalo, answer Indrani. Who will answer Indrani? She's saying I'm shifting my furniture from my one office to another. Okay, Harsh is saying supply of service, so not covered here. Okay. Oh, even Komanduri Pavani also says it is supply of service. Bapre. So am I missing something? Is it supply of service? Okay, Julie says it will fall in another clause because movement is involved. Super Shamli. Super Shamli. Perfect answer, beta. So Medha, don't be so specific. Give then further. Complete your answer. Namrata, only no is not sufficient. Then answer Indrani. Very good. Afia beta. Super. So Super Shamli and Aflatun Afia. Okay. Super Sony. Very good Sony beta. Super Sony. Excellent Anil. Your answer is super. Very good Anil. So students, firstly, taking up Indrani's case, you are shifting your office furniture from your one office to your another office. Students, I just said first check if there is a supply, and two things to be checked. Is it schedule 3? No, it is not schedule 3. Fine, but is it fulfilling definition of section 7 of supply? When I am shifting my own furniture from my one office to my another office where there is a sale, where there is a supply. So this is where Afia and Shamli rightly pointed out that there is no sale, there is no supply. But adding to this, Anil gave one more very good perspective, that is schedule 1. If my that other office has a separate registration under the same PAN but a separate GSTIN, which is very much possible. So same my office, let us say in Pune, and same my office in Nashik, and same my office in Mumbai, I may have separate registrations. All will have same PAN because it is my office, but still the GST number would be different. And as per section 25, it will be distinct persons. And in that case, when I'm moving my assets, here it is furniture, from one of my GSTIN to another GSTIN, in that case, it will become a supply. And then I will proceed to find out place of supply. And then the place of supply, which if I'm not wrong, Adil pointed out more precisely, it is the place of installation because furniture has to be installed. So either it will be clause A, where no installation is involved, and if installation is involved, it will be clause D. Yes, Abhinav. So two answers. First of Afia and Shamli, that firstly, the basic answer is no supply because I cannot sell to myself. So one office of mine, another office of mine, no transaction. However, adding to this Anil's perspective that if both have separate GSTIN, that is both have separate GST number, both becomes distinct person of the same person. And in that case, there is a deemed sale, deemed supply as per schedule 1 entry 2. And in that case, as per schedule 1 entry 2, this transaction also will be a supply and there will be GST, and then we will determine what is the place of supply, for which there are two answers. If no installation is involved, it will be as per clause A, that is a place where the furniture is shifted. And if installation is involved, it will be the place where it is installed, which Adil specified. Great. Perfect. Now, I have another interesting question from Gopal, but now you have to be more attentive. Attentive for two reasons. One, go by sequence. First, check if it is a supply, applying all provisions of supply. First, check schedule 3. If it is in schedule 3, no question, tata, bye bye. If it is not schedule 3, it means it is not a no supply. But still, you have to check conditions of section 7. If it is satisfying 7, read with schedule 1 or without schedule 1, then it is supply. Then you proceed to schedule 2 to decide what type of supply it is, whether supply of goods or supply of service. Because to determine the place of supply, you have to first determine the nature. If it is supply of goods, you'll come to 10. If it is supply of service, you go to 12. And then accordingly, you will determine the clause, right? So even though I'm asking you answer for place of supply, your answer should start from basic, correct? And that is how in real life scenarios we also do. Whenever we are dealing with our client cases or any very so-called technical or difficult issue, if you break it up into proper sequence, students, even the most toughest questions will be easy and you will come out as experts. So now I'm putting across to you Gopal's question, which is again interesting. Please pay attention because it is slightly technical. Now, the case is like this. I'm taking the same example which I took in the previous class. I am a supplier of air conditioning system from Udaipur, Rajasthan. I get order from Gopal, who is from Mumbai, Maharashtra. He orders 25 air conditioning systems to be installed in his office in Mumbai, Maharashtra. I said, fine, done. So I sent those 25 ACs from my shop, my godown or my factory, whatever it is in Udaipur, Rajasthan, to his office in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Now these ACs are installed over there. Now importantly, for installation, I require technician. Now instead of sending my technician who will travel all the way from Rajasthan, come to Mumbai, plus stay over there for 4 or 5 days because that much time will be required for installing 25 ACs, I decide to hire a local technician from Mumbai, Maharashtra. Let us say the technician is Kuldeep. He is the expert technician of air conditioning systems. So I get his number and I call him and I give him this service. Obviously, it is a service. I'm sure you all will agree to this. That boss, you have to go to this address of Gopal and install these 25 air conditioning systems for which I will pay him 1 lakh rupees. Now in this transaction, Gopal's question is, uh, firstly, now I'm making up this question further detailed along with what Gopal has asked. So firstly, is there one supply or is there more than one supply? So let us take more examples. This installation is costing me 1 lakh rupees and the total value of all ACs which I am charging to Gopal, let us say is 15 lakh rupees, which obviously includes installation because I have agreed to give him with installation. Now, first question, is there a single supply or are there two supplies? Come on. Shambli, when you are saying two supplies or anybody who is saying two supplies or one supply, you have to mention what the supply or supplies are. Okay, Abhinav, please further spell out what is the supply. Okay, Gopal says it is one. So the person asking the question says it is one. Okay, Julie, correct. But name them, name the supplies. Medha, name the supplies. Very good, Indrani. So Indrani has named the supplies. One is supply of AC, correct? The other is installation service. Now, I'm sure y'all would have definitely covered the concept of composite supplies and mixed supplies. Now, first, let us go one by one. So there are two supplies, yes. And as Indrani has rightly pointed out, one is supply of AC and the other is supply of installation service. Now, my first question is, when I'm selling these ACs to Gopal, where my contract says AC plus installation, and the ACs have costed 14 lakhs. 1 lakh is the installation cost, which I am going to pay to Kuldeep. So I've given him the bill of 15 lakhs, showing AC 14 and installation 1 lakh. Now, in case of this 15 lakhs bill, whether this whole 15 lakhs will be considered as one supply or it will be two supplies, one supply of AC where I will take the rate of AC, I will take the place of supply of goods for AC, and second, the installation service where I will take the rate of installation service and also take the place of supply for installation service. I hope my question is clear. So in my charging of 15 lakhs to Gopal, whether I have to levy one rate, I have to levy two separate rates. Super. So many of y'all are giving me correct answers. Mustafa, why you are going into composition? Please don't mix things, beta. Composition is different and composite supply is different. Don't mix. Harsh, you are right, but then what is principle? Very good. Komanduri Pavani, she has given a very precise answer. She says it is a composite supply where AC is the principal supply. So you will take a single rate applicable to that of AC. And when we will take the rate applicable to AC, right? Then for entire 15 lakhs, that is 14 lakhs of AC and 1 lakh of installation, that installation will also be treated as supply of goods because it will get merged in the value of goods. This you will study again in valuation chapter section 15 subsection 2 clause C. As per section 15 2C, the valuation also says the value of AC will be considered as 15 lakhs including that 1 lakh installation. Read it with the concept of composite supply and section 8. The answer is on entire 15 lakhs, there will be one tax treatment. The entire 15 lakhs will be supply of goods, that is AC. The rate of AC will apply and the place of supply will be decided by 10(1)(d) for entire 15 lakhs. This is the treatment of the first supply between me and Gopal, where I am the supplier and he is the recipient. Now comes the second supply. The second supply is where Kuldeep is the supplier and I'm the recipient. Because now, for installing the ACs at Gopal's place, I have hired Kuldeep, who is the technician. So this is the second transaction where now Kuldeep becomes the supplier, I become the recipient, and the supply is of installation service. So there are two supplies, one between me and Gopal. To Gopal, I have charged two things, but it will be considered as composite supply. It will be considered a supply of the principal item, which is AC. So for both the things, 14 lakhs plus 1 lakh, that is 15 lakhs. My treatment is that of AC only. So it will be treated as AC. The value 15 lakhs will be taxed as per 15(2)(c). It will be taken as value of AC only and read with section 8 of composite supply provisions. It says the tax rate on all treatment will be of AC. So place of supply applicable to AC will apply. Correct? Anubhav, I have already answered your question, I think. And then the second supply is where Kuldeep is supplier, I am the recipient. So for supply between Kuldeep and me, it is now a supply of service, which is covered in section 12, where 1 lakh rupees which Kuldeep is charging me will be taxed at the rate of 18%. That is the tax rate applicable on supply of installation service. And it will be taxed at 18% and the place of supply will be determined as per section 12. Indrani, but I am not agreeing with your answer. If your answer is for previous question, I've already answered it. Perfect. So students, I think I have clarified this example of Gopal. Everything is Mustafa beta. Why you are getting into the amounts? Will it affect our answer? Let us stick to our answer. Na? Take the values which I have taken. How my answer? We are more in the tax treatment, na Mustafa? Why you are getting into the pricing details? See, it is my business. I may charge any amount. If the supplier is ready and the buyer is ready to buy, no problem. And it may be any ton AC. Correct, Mustafa? Okay. Is this clear to all? So see, in this transaction, there were two transactions in which one was a composite and the other one was separate. That other one was my cost, which I added, and it became composite for my outward supply. And there are two bills, two place of supplies. But in my bill to Gopal, it is only one transaction, composite transaction, and there is one place of supply. Perfect, students. So this was slightly tricky question because there were multiple angles, and this is how you have to decode. You have to go to every example step by step. You cannot directly jump to the question of place of supply or value of supply, even though the question is asking that only. You have to start from basic. Okay, I hope everything up to clause C is clear to everyone. No, beta, Pavani. There is no employer-employee agreement between the technician and the company. I do not even know who Kuldeep is. I just hired him for this one transaction. It is like a company hiring you, a chartered accountant, for doing their income tax filing or GST return filing. You do not become employee. There is a professional contract. There is no employer-employee contract between me and Anil. If that is the case, there is no GST then. But that is not the case. For one transaction, he will not become my employee. Correct? Mustafa, I did not get what you are saying. Clear B subsection. What it means? Medha beta, composite supply is a different concept and composition is a different concept. Composition is a parallel mechanism of charging GST. It is applicable to small businesses where they cannot fulfill the entire detailed GST compliances. So for them, a simplified scheme is given where they are given or where they are asked to pay a lower rate, but then they do not take the ITC, which example I was taking in the previous class. So they will simply pay tax on their output without taking any ITC. This is to simplify the procedural part, and they are given very simple compliances. That is what is called as composition scheme, which is applicable to small businesses. Composite supply, mixed supply is a concept applicable where more than one item is supplied together in the same invoice. You are given more than one items together. So what should be the tax treatment of such items? That is what is covered in the concept of composite. So that is where composite versus mixed supply concept comes into the picture. So composite supply concept and composition, these are two separate concepts in GST. Is this fine, beta? Yes. Clear? Okay, Mustafa, I understood. Ashlesha, but a clause B I have not yet explained yet. I have not yet started explaining clause B yet. Mida, no worries, but then try to uh, see the video lecture so that it helps in understanding, because whenever I'm revising, or let us say now I'm trying to uh, take you all to that level where you are able to answer the exam questions, because they will come like this only. It may not be only limited to one topic. So better is, if you have missed something, try to cover up that, right? No, Indrani, mixed and composite supply, the only thing common between both of them is where two or more items are sold together in one bill. That is where you have to check if it is composite, if it is mixed, or if it is independent supply. But both are different. Mujahid Beda, this is, I cannot explain you composition right now because it is not the topic. I'll request you that you please refer to the composition class lecture, the recorded lecture, so that you'll understand it from there. Okay, now I come to clause A and clause B. In both these clauses, the first thing that is common is that in both these clauses, there is movement. So the transaction which is involving movement, clause A, clause B. Now, if both are involving movement, what is the difference? The difference is clause A has only two parties, clause B has more than two parties. Now, again, I'll take examples. Please pay attention. First, I'll explain clause A. So, I am supplier of packaged water bottles. So we have different brand water bottles. Whatever brand you like, you can take example of that brand. My business is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. I am the distributor. Now, Ria, she is also a dealer in bottles. She is the next line dealer. So I'm the distributor. So let us say she is the retailer. She is having her shop or she is running a mall, which is in Pune. So I am from Mumbai, Maharashtra. Ria is from Pune. Another example, same. I am the supplier of these bottles, distributors, Mumbai, Maharashtra. And Abhijit Saho, he is, let us say, from Bhubaneswar, Orissa. Now, again, Abhijit Saho is a retailer. Now, since I am the distributor, all these retailers, they buy the bottles from me. And then there is third case scenario where Manisha to Abhijit, Manisha, who is in Chennai. I am in Mumbai, Maharashtra. My godown is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Now, in all these three examples, what is happening? These three people are giving me regularly orders, and I have to dispatch the goods. In first two cases, I am supposed to dispatch the goods, that is to Ria and to Abhijit. But in third case, that is Manisha's case, Manisha will arrange for the transport herself. Means I am not concerned with dispatching the goods. The contract or understanding between me and Manisha is that she has to pick up the goods from my godown. All these three case scenarios are covered in A. What does A says? I'll read. Where the supply involves movement of goods. So there is a movement, yes, the goods are going to move from my godown to all these three places. Most important part, whether by the supplier or the recipient. So in first two cases, the movement is done by whom? By the supplier. So I have to send it to Ria's place in Pune. I have to send it to Abhijit in Bhubaneswar. But in the third case, Manisha's case, the contract between me and Manisha is I don't have to arrange for the movement. Manisha, who is the recipient, will arrange for the movement. For the time being, we keep this part aside for sake of simplicity. Let us be strict to only two case scenarios. Movement is done by supplier, movement is done by recipient. Right? Now, the best part is whatever is given hereafter, you can simply ignore that and you can simply write place of supply is the location of delivery. So whatever is written there, I'll read. But for simplicity, for the purpose of your exams and for the sake of ease of remembering, you can just remember it like this. The answer is the place of supply is the place of delivery. So in first case, it is Pune, Maharashtra. I am from Mumbai, Maharashtra, location of supplier, place of supply, that is a place of delivery, which is Ria's location, Pune, Maharashtra. I will charge CGST, GST, it is intrastate supply. Answer 2, the place of supply as per clause A is Bhubaneswar, Orissa, that is Abhijit's location. So location of supplier, that is my location, Mumbai, Maharashtra.
Recording in progress.
Is this clear firstly? What clause A says? I will come to the language. See, many times the language makes the simple things complicated. So I've first given you the example. I've given you all possibilities which are given in clause A. Anybody, any questions? Yes. No questions? Perfect. So at least you can say no questions, you can say clear. So at least I'll understand you all have understood, because keeping silent may have multiple meanings. See, in legal field which I belong to, being silent may not always be a positive thing. The courts may take any interpretation. If they ask you, are you the murderer? And if you remain silent, it may be yes also, it may be no also. So you cannot be silent. You have to say yes or no, understood, not understood. Now, what is the difference between who arranges the movement? The difference is who bears the transportation cost. But it is irrespective of who bears the transportation cost, as per clause A, that is irrespective of who arranges the movement. See, arranging the movement means who is going to bear the transport cost. The person who arranges the movement bears the transport cost. So if supplier, in first two cases of mine, I am arranging the movement, I'm going to bear the transport cost, which obviously I'm going to include in your bill, which will again become a composite supply. But the point is, place of supply is the delivery location, that is your location. And in third scenario where Manisha is arranging for supply, means she's going to bear the transport cost. My role is over. I have to hand over the goods to her. She will look after the transportation. She will bear the transport cost. In that case, also the place of supply is location of delivery. So answer of clause A remains same. Whoever arranges the transport, whoever pays for the transport, the place of supply is the place of delivery, in very simple words. No, beta Mustafa. Place of supply is the recipient's place always. Whoever arranges delivery, whoever takes the goods, the place of supply is the place of delivery. Anil, go ahead. Ask your query. I'll read in the meantime what does the language says. The place of supply of such goods shall be the location of goods at the time at which the movement of goods terminates. This is the most important point. It is a location where the movement terminates, and the movement is going to terminate at your delivery location. Whoever arranges the transport, where the movement will terminate at your location. Your means recipient's location. Correct? Let me now go to clause B. Clause B again deals with the transaction which is covered, which is involving movement, right? Now, whom should I make my parties? Who is very silent today? Okay, I'll randomly select someone. Chalo, Anubhav is my example. Now, I am into the business of supplying soft toys, and my brand has a very high brand value. It has very unique soft toys, and I can even modify the soft toys as per your requirement. So Anubhav contacts me either through my app or through my mail or in whatever fashion. He sends me someone's photo and he says, "Sir, this person is very special to me. So I want you to make a soft toy which will resemble this person's face. Sorry. And since it is going to be this person's birthday on 31st of September, so I want you to make a very beautiful soft toy resembling this person's face, and also make it very beautiful like a princess, and dispatch it to this person." I said, fine, Anubhav. I'll make that person, I'll give the person the Anubhav that you want to give. So the gift which I will, or this product which I'll be sending to this person will give that person the Anubhav which you want to pass on. Now, I am from Kota, Rajasthan. Anubhav is, let us say, from Kolkata, Bengal. And this special person of Anubhav, whoever you can name Anubhav, and this person is, let us say, in Kerala. So Anubhav was on a trip to Kerala in the Hasi Wadia of Kerala. There he met someone, and then the whole movie. Oh, so Anubhav is giving me input. So backwaters of Kerala, he met someone. That someone became very special to Anubhav. They had a very great Anubhav over there, and there were many songs sung by both of them, single, duet. In fact, while leaving, the song was Pardesi Pardesi Jana Nahi. And all these things happened, and Anubhav promised to keep giving Anubhav to that person. And that is why once he comes back and he knows that it is that person's birthday on 31st of September, so he contacts me. Now, in this whole transaction, I'm from Kota, Rajasthan, location of supplier. Anubhav is, as I said, from Kolkata, which is West Bengal, and this special person is from Kerala. Now, in this particular case, what will be the place of supply? So, my bill is going to Anubhav, and the goods are going to Kerala. Correct? This is the whole transaction. So, what will be the place of supply of this? Now, for this, you will not apply clause A. That is the most important point. Why? Because where there are more than one persons, sorry, more than two-person means there are more than two parties, seller is there, but on the recipient side, there is more than one person. One is the recipient of the goods, that is the person who has placed the order, and one is the person where the goods have to be delivered. In such cases, the place of supply will not be determined by clause A, and that is where clause B comes. But I want you all to give me the answer. What does your logic of the subject says? What should be the place of supply? Chalo. Yes, Anubhav. Bill to is to you and ship to is to the special person whom you are yet to name. I am waiting for the name so that I can make the example more lively. Yes, exactly, Anil. This is bill to ship to model. Correct. This is exactly what is called as bill to ship to model. Chalo, I am waiting for your answers. So, Pavani Veda, mention the name of the place. So, I am giving bill to Anubhav, which is Kolkata, West Bengal, and the goods will be delivered in Kerala. So, what is the place of supply? Okay. So, okay. Prerna, fine. Adil, okay. Great. Anybody else wants to add any answer? Good. Jaya. Okay, Namrata. Good, Kuldeep. Is it Lalita or is it Lolita? Anubhav? Because in Kolkata, people will say Lolita, right? Okay, fine. So, students, let me first give you the answer. And few of you all have given me the answer, but I don't know what is your logic. Means few means all. Many of you all have given me the answer. Few have given it correctly, but you all have not given me the logic. The correct answer is Kolkata, which defies many people's logic. And the interesting part is to know why. See, we are looking at this transaction with the physical destination in mind. And I 100% agree, physically, the goods are reaching Kerala. But the place of supply, as per clause B, firstly, clause B will apply over here. It is a bill to ship to model transaction. The place of supply will be, as per clause B, the billing address and not the delivery address. And it will be Kolkata in this example. Correct? Now, the most important part is many of you all will think, sir, but this is not correct as per logic. Maybe. And why you feel it is not correct as per logic, that is also correct. Because, sir, physically, if the goods are going to Kerala, then logically, the destination of these goods, the consumption of these goods is Kerala. But why are you saying Kolkata? For this, you have to understand one very important point, students, that this is a bill to ship to transaction. I am sending the bill from Rajasthan to Kolkata, but I am delivering the goods from Rajasthan to Kerala. Now, when you're looking at only one side of the transaction, which side you are looking at? You are looking at the side of transaction where you are only looking at the movement of goods. This is where the things are slightly going wrong. You have to remember that there are two transactions again. This is the most important point. Once you understand this, understanding the logic of why this type of provision is made in clause B, which may appear to be incorrect, it is correct. Why? Because there are two transactions. One, transaction between me and Anubhav, and second, the transaction between Anubhav and the person in Kerala. Correct? Most important point. I am only concerned with the first transaction. This clause B is not answering the second transaction, which will be looked upon separately because it is a separate transaction between Anubhav and that person. Clause B says that the place of supply will be my billing address. Why? I'll tell you the logic. The logic is I am selling to Anubhav. As somebody also rightly pointed out in the chat, I don't recall the name because I read so many chats to read your answers, that my contract is with Anubhav, the money is coming from Anubhav. So if I look at one independent transaction, the transaction is between me and Anubhav, the money is coming from Anubhav. Anubhav is the recipient. Please remember, students, there is a specific definition of recipient in the GST law. And wherever there is a consideration in the transaction, like in our case, there is a consideration, right? So whenever there is a consideration in the transaction, in such a case, the recipient is not the person who is actually receiving the goods or service. The recipient is the person who is liable to pay. I hope you all remember the definition. And this definition is now very relevant in such transactions. Even though physically the goods will be received, will be consumed, will be enjoyed by that third person sitting in Kerala, but if you look at the GST law, the recipient of this transaction remains Anubhav, that is a person who is liable to pay. See, I will be recovering the money from Anubhav. I have no connection with that third person. So I am supplier, Anubhav is recipient. Now, the logic is I will charge GST to Anubhav. Anubhav will pay me the GST, and recall my last session's example. Whatever GST I'm charging to Anubhav will become his credit. And tomorrow, the second transaction, when it will kick in, that is between Anubhav and this person in Kerala. Anubhav will be raising the invoice on this person. We are assuming it is a commercial transaction. In that case, Anubhav will get ITC, which I have charged to him. The GST which I have charged to him, he will get ITC because I have shown him as the place of supply. And he will consume this ITC to pay his outward ITC on the transaction where he is supplying to the special person. So this is how this whole transaction has been designed in clause B, where the place of supply is the billing address. I hope this is clear to everyone. Yes, students, everybody understood clause B, right? Good. Super. Super. Chalo. So we will take a 10 minutes break now. In the meantime, I'll request you all, you may also take a 2 to 5 minutes refreshment break and come back and read this clause again, and also go down and read the examples and the different case scenarios covered, so that in case if anything is not clear, not understood on your reading of this, we will deal with it. So a break of 10-12 minutes, we will resume in that much time. But that time you have to utilize for reading this clause, and most important, reading the examples given below for both these clauses A and B. Fine? Sure. Now, let me take few questions. So Prerna is asking, sir, in case supplier sell goods to customer through agent, then GST will be paid by the customer. Yes, GST will always be paid by the customer, even you are selling through agent. Place of supply will be the customer state. Yes, but see, when you are saying that you are selling through agent, Prerna, now you have to again go to schedule 1 first. If your case is falling in schedule 1, that is when you are sending goods to agent, and agent is further sending it to customer, then if the case falls in schedule 1, then again there are two transactions, first between you and agent and then between agent and customer. In that case, your goods sent to agent, place of supply will be agent's place, and agent sending to customer, place of supply will be customer's place. But if this scenario does not falls in schedule 1, then what you are saying is right. Your goods sent to customer will be customer's place as place of supply. Anil says, while discussing clause A, in case supplier escalated his address when he is bearing the transportation cost, and what would be POS, sir? Like address given to supplier is different. See, but please understand this. No supplier will give you a wrong address, because if he is giving wrong address and the goods are going on wrong location, it will be a big. So if you have to send goods to a place, you will have to give the address of that place only. If you are giving the wrong address, tomorrow the goods will have to be sent back, and this will be a very big problem. So nobody will do that better practically. So this, according to me, is practically not going to happen. But I don't know about the quiz. If you can give me the question here, I will answer beta. So I don't know, you are talking about some quiz, na Pavani, Bolaram and Tolaram. So if you can give me, but I don't have. Acha, so you are referring to page 4.16. So what is this quiz, beta? Tolaram, supplier registered in UP, having his place of business at Noida, which is in UP. So location of supplier is Freest, correct? Ask Bolaram Limited of Ahmedabad, Gujarat to deliver 50 washing machines to its buyer, Jolaram at Jaipur. Please understand, we are talking about two transactions. This is a scenario of clause B. So let us say you are Tolaram. You have asked me, I am Bolaram, to deliver goods to a person who is Jolaram, right? So three persons. You are Tolaram, I am Bolaram. You have asked me to deliver goods to a person in Rajasthan. Now, please understand, there are two transactions. So you have to be first clear, we are talking about whose transaction? Transaction between you and me. You are Tolaram from Uttar Pradesh. I am Bolaram from Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Now, when you have asked me to deliver goods at a third person's place, what will happen? I am raising invoice on you and delivering at that place. So my invoice to you, place of supply will be your place, that is Uttar Pradesh, even though the goods are going to Rajasthan. It is same like my example what I gave of Anubhav. Correct? Second transaction between you and the Jholaram, Rajasthan, because ultimately you have asked me to deliver goods there. So there is a transaction between you and Jholaram. So you will be raising your invoice on Jholaram where the place of supply is Rajasthan. Correct? Now in this, see what is the question asking? The place of supply between Tolaram and Jholaram. That is between you. I think there is, so between Tolaram, that is you, and Jholaram. That is, they are talking about the second transaction. Correct? So first transaction is between me and you. The second transaction is between you and Jolaram. The place of supply between your transaction is Jolaram's place, that is Rajasthan. And the place of supply between mine and your transaction is your place, that is Uttar Pradesh. So what is the answer? Is it not matching with what we just said? Pavani beta? Anubhav is writing A. I did not get beta A. What you mean by A, Anubhav? Exactly. So what is A? I did not get A. Acha, you are talking about one of the options. So right, na? So for the first question, the place of supply is Rajasthan, and for the second transaction, the place of supply is Uttar Pradesh. Acha, both answers are given. Acha, sorry. Okay, so answer is A, beta. Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. Fine. Understood, Anubhav. Now there was some question I just missed. Oh, see, reading so many chats, I missed somebody's question. There was somebody's question. I think Harsh had asked this question. So Harsh is saying, sir, how would section 10(1)(b) of place of supply apply to a situation where company example will not fit in 10(1)(b)? It is to a customer in New York. Again, it will not fit even in section 12, which we are going to discuss, because 12 is only for domestic transactions. So beta, you are talking about a transaction which is in section 13, which is firstly service, and that also for international transaction, Harsh. So how can you apply 10(1)(b) here, beta? It is supply of service, na? Understood, Harsh? Okay, Jaya, I'll take your question. So Jaya has asked me this question, which is 4.16 question, second part. Supplier registered in one state, okay? Principal place of business in different. Then which state will be considered? See, beta, when a particular person like a supplier has multiple registrations, then the place from where he contracts for this particular transaction, that is considered as location of supplier. So I may be having one place which I may call as my main head office, and I have multiple places in other states, but the place from where I'm entering into the transaction, that is considered for all purposes. So that will become the location of supplier, Jaya. I hope I've answered your question, but I'll still go to that 4.18 example you said. So 4.18. But which part of 4.18? But here I think 4.18. So I'm on 4.18 page beta. Now, what is your question here? I'm on 4.18. Na? So here, what is your question? Which part of 4.18 now you're asking me, beta? Jaya, you're asking about what? Medha, again, same question. If you have multiple offices, right? Now your question is, if you are a supplier having multiple offices, like you gave example of Reliance. Now, as a customer, I will be coming to one of your Reliance shops. Na? So the place where I'm coming to, that will become the location of supplier, firstly. And then place of supply will depend upon whether it is A, B, C, C, A, D, etc. Correct, Medha? Jaya, beta, on 4.18, there are two things. You're talking about which? You're talking about this issue, correct? So what is the heading? Place of supply of goods, particularly being supplied through e-commerce to unregistered person where billing address is different from the address of delivery. What is this example? Same Anubhav's example, where Anubhav has placed order. So I give same example, beta. Anubhav has placed order to me, and Anubhav is asking me to deliver goods at a third place. Now, in this case, if the transaction is by an unregistered person, so let us say now Anubhav is an unregistered person and Anubhav is placing order on me. Now, what will be the answer? So, what it says, Mr. A unregistered person. So, it is Anubhav on an e-commerce platform that is places an order to me for supply of mobile phone, which is to be delivered at an address located in Y state. So this is Kerala. Now, if Mr. A, while placing the order on the e-commerce platform, provides a billing address located in Y state, in such scenario, what would be the place of supply of mobile of Immovable, that is West Bengal, or the state pertaining to delivery address, that is of Kerala? Answer is, as per provisions of 10(1)(ca), the place of supply will be the address of delivery. Why? Not B. Please understand this. So whenever the supply is to unregistered persons, you will come to 10(1)(ca) only. That is why reason for D, CA are specific. And you should always apply the specific rules first. Where you are not fitting in D, E, CA, then you will apply A and B. I hope you got the answer now, beta. No, but it was a relevant confusion, Jaya. So I hope because of your confusion, others also would have got this answer. Whenever you order from any online app, you place an order. In fact, when you receive on the package of Amazon or Flipkart, whatever, wherever you are ordering from, you always have the address of the supplier. So that becomes the location of supplier. In fact, see, location of supplier is never a challenge. It is very easy to determine location of supplier. See, student, this was the specific reason why I asked you all to read it from here, because now see, when you read, you'll have these doubts, which are very important doubts, because this is what will help you understand the scenario also, and it will also help you develop your concepts and logic about all these provisions. No, Kuldeep, I don't say that you should start assessing the case from E, that is last. See, when now you will have any case, if it is very specific D and E, right, from the name of the or the details of the transaction, you'll understand that it will be D or E, or it will be CA, because these are specific cases, correct? So it is not necessary to that for every case you'll start from E. You will go to E if the case is of buying something while you are in journey. If it is not the case of buying while you are in journey, why you will go for E? So I'm not saying that for every case you should start first checking E and then D and then CA. I said CA, D, E are specific. Specific means they are very particular. That if this happens, then only this case applies. Correct? And when anything which is in CA, D, E is not applicable, then in fact even C, if it is not applicable, then you'll go to A and B. Correct, beta? Is this clear to all? So location of place of supply of goods for domestic transaction is done. Should I go to now place of supply of service? Anubhav, it is not necessary that in bill to ship to all three should be registered, but first and second person should be registered. That is the supplier and the buyer. Because if the buyer is unregistered, then you fall in CA, which is the example which just we discussed, I think, which Jaya had pointed out. Correct? Also, students, the language of clause B is very confusing. So please keep in mind the answer in clause B is the billing address and not the delivery address. This should be the simple answer you should keep in mind, and you should write it in your books also, that whenever there are three persons and the buyer is a registered buyer, because if the buyer is unregistered, then you'll go to CA, right? But if the buyer is a registered buyer, you will come to clause B. And the answer is it is the address of the buyer, not the address of delivery. This is what you have to remember. And same example, if the buyer is unregistered, then you fall in CA, then the answer will change. So it will be clause CA then, and the place of supply in the same example will become the place of delivery. So this is the relevance. Yes, Harsh, you can say so. So clause E, D, C, A, C. These four clauses are specific clauses dealing to a particular transaction. So if your transaction is one of them, you'll apply that specific clause only. If not, A and B. And between A and B also, you know when A and when B. Correct? Now, goods, according to me, were still straightforward. The transactions of goods. Why? Because you can physically see the transaction of goods. Now, what is going to be interesting is when there will be transaction for services. Now, when there will be transaction for services, there will be something very, very interesting happening. What is that something very interesting happening? The first thing that will happen is you will not be able to see the transaction because it is service. Second, it will be even difficult to identify how many transactions are involved because it is difficult to see the service. Like right now, when we are having this online classes, what appears on the face of this is that I am the supplier and you are the recipient, but it is not. I am the supplier, ICAI, Delhi or Noida, the head office is the recipient. And then ICAI head office and you, there is another transaction. Okay, that may be a different thing that transaction may not be taxable. It is there is no consideration, but assuming you registered for this batch by paying some consideration, just for the sake of example. So there are two different transactions. In first transaction, I am supplier, ICAI head office is recipient. Second transaction, ICAI is supplier head office and you all are the recipients. Now in such a case, the place of supply will change or the answers may change because there are two different types of transactions, two different types of services. Correct, students? So this is where the transaction of services becomes very, very interesting. Now, for determining place of supply of services, we have two sections, section 12 and 13. Though 13 is not in your syllabus, but to understand when which section will apply, we will take some basic examples. So what is the basic section 12 applicability that is given in subsection 1? What does section 12 subsection 1 says? The provisions of this section will apply to determine the place of supply of service where location of supplier and location of recipient of services both are in India. Now, when you read section 13.1, it says when either the location of supplier of service or the location of recipient of service, anyone is outside India, then section 13 will apply. Now, very important, I'll take few examples and you have to tell me whether section 12 will apply or section 13 will apply. Okay. So you have to simply write in the chat box 12 or 13 as the answer. Okay. So my first example is I'm chartered accountant, Miss Shakti VR. She is a professional. She is having her business place in Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. I'm having my business place in New Delhi. She contacts me. She wants to avail my consultancy services. Correct. So I provide her consultancy services. This is a transaction of supply of service, no doubt. Whether 12 would apply or 13 would apply. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Okay, great. So all of you all have given me correct answers. Excellent. Let me proceed. Second example. Same, I am consultant based out at New Delhi. I am into consulting. And let us say Prajot is a person from US. No, sorry, I don't like US now. I will change the example. I like Meloni. So it is Italy. So Prajot is from Italy. Now, Prajot contacts me for availing my consultancy services on geopolitics, how to handle some mad persons sitting some in country and trying to disturb other countries. So on behalf of Meloni, he connects with me and takes my consultancy services. Now, for this consultancy services, the place of supply will be determined by which section? 12, 13. Good. Now, these two were very straightforward examples, right? Okay. Now, third case scenario. I am a famous musician. Musician come singer, one of my favorites, Shri A.R. Rahmanji. So I'm taking the privilege to call myself Shri A.R. Rahmanji. So I am a famous musician singer based out from India. I'll use the word India. The particular place in South, I don't remember where he hails from, but let us say Andhra Pradesh, right? You are a person who organizes such shows. So you are the organizer of event, correct? So let us say you are Julie Kumari from Mumbai, Maharashtra. You contact me that, sir, I want to conduct your concerts. I said, great. So first is Julie says that, sir, I want to conduct your concert in Wankhede Stadium, Mumbai. I said, fine. Second, in Delhi, that what is that, a new stadium? It was renamed by Modi ji after doing some reconstruction. I forgot the name. Second concert she wants to conduct is in New Delhi. That what's the name of that place? No, not Jetli Stadium. Not a stadium. It is that where even exhibitions and all are held. Mandapam, some Mandapam, correct. Some Mandapam. He renamed and it was renovated. Yes, Bharat Mandapam. Correct, correct, Kuldeep. So the second concert Julie wants me to be part of is in Delhi, Bharat Mandapam. Third, she wants the concert to be in 6 or 30. Right, Nitya, Gopal, right, right. Julie, it was your own example. Shamli, there are two answers. I believe you are, which answer you are going by, first or second? Or you have not given any answer now. Actually, the problem is there are multiple answers, so I'm not getting. Shamli, can you please repost your answer? Yes, for Sydney, I'm asking Kuldeep. Very good, Kuldeep. Very good, Abhinav. Anubhav, good. Very good, Gopal. Students, the answer is one.
Recording in progress.
No confusion, no doubt. why it is 12 and not 13. Correct? Because 12 and 13 is not affected by where the services are to be performed or rendered. It is to be decided on the basis of where is the location of supplier, where is the location of recipient. Correct? Now, I have more questions, but Medha, I have not explained 13. 13 is not part of our syllabus. I just said you have to understand when 12 will apply, when 13 will apply. 12 will apply when both recipient supplier are from India. 13 will apply when one of them is outside India. Simple. That's it. Beyond this, I have not explained anything in 13 as it is not part of our syllabus. Now, moving forward, I have more questions on this part, but now it is not between 12 and 13. Because for determining 12 and 13, you have to determine the location of supplier and location of recipient. So now my further questions are on determining the location, correct? Now for this, I will ask questions and you have to tell me what is the location, correct? Now, again, I am a consultant, Mumbai, Maharashtra. Rudra Jina, he contacts me for consultancy relating to his client. Let us say Rudra Jina is a chartered accountant. Now, Rudra Jina is, let us say, from Delhi, but he originates from Rajasthan. And presently, he is in Delhi. He is a chartered accountant. He has started his own office in Delhi. Now, his office address is Delhi, but his office is unregistered office. Why? He has not yet taken registration because he is not yet covered under GST. I am the consultant whom he has hired for some legal consultancy services relating to one of his client's case. I am from Mumbai, Maharashtra. Location of supplier is Mumbai, Maharashtra. Now, as far as location of recipient is concerned, Rudra has an office in Delhi, but it is not yet registered because he is just newly qualified, yet to cross the turnover limit. So he has not taken a registration. And his residence is in Kota, Rajasthan. Now, what will be the location of recipient? Now you have to name the place, whether it will be Kota or whether it will be Delhi. You can simply write K or D. That should also be sufficient for me. Good Nitya. Good Shamli. Okay. What is D? Acha, sorry, I forgot. Delhi. Okay. I forgot. Jaya. Okay. 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 Good Afia. Okay. Jaya, you are right. Pooja, you are right. Answer is Delhi. A location of his office. Unregistered. Yes, I believe. I agree. I myself have said it is unregistered office. It is Delhi. Correct. Why? We'll go to the definition. But before that, I want to highlight something. Next example. Now, this is going to be even more interesting. I am consultant, Mumbai, Maharashtra, and Medha, who is from Rajasthan, having her office in Rajasthan, in Udaipur, a very beautiful city, registered there, require some consultancy service. So she contacts me. I say, Medha, since I'm a legal consultant and there is a recent Supreme Court decision which says that you should not give any consultancy over the phone, it may be detrimental. So I follow my Honorable Supreme Court's advice. And for any consultancy service, if you want, you have to come to my office, which is Mumbai, Maharashtra. So Medha travels from Rajasthan, her place, her office, both residents are in Rajasthan, and she comes to Mumbai, Maharashtra. She comes to my office, and over there, I resolve all her legal queries. I give the consultancy service. In this transaction, location of supplier, no doubt, it is Mumbai, Maharashtra. Question is, what is the location of recipient? Again, you can write the initial. Good, Afia. Kuldeep, correct. Correct, Ashlesha. Good, Anubhav. Good, Indrani. Correct, Shamli. Yes, Pavani. Correct. No, Namrata. Correct, Mustafa. Answer is, what is the location of recipient? It is Udaipur, Rajasthan. Location, recipient, Udaipur, Rajasthan. Even though she traveled from there, comes to Mumbai, I actually am giving the consultancy sitting in my office in Mumbai. Still, it is Udaipur, Rajasthan, which is the location of the recipient. Be clear with the location of recipient. I am not yet talking about place of supply that we will study in section 12. But first, to determine whether you will see section 12 or 13, you have to determine the location of supplier and recipient. And location of supplier and recipient has been defined both in the CGST, SGST Acts and also in the IGST Act. So let me take you to the definition. Medha, can you please read the definition for me? Just a minute, Medha. Hold on. Yes, Medha. See, there are two definitions. One is location of recipient and another is location of supplier. We can read any one of them, the answer will be same. But since right now my example was to identify what is the location of recipient of Medha, so we are reading the location of recipient. Basically, Medha, actually, where are you from, Medha?
Sir, I'm from Delhi.
Acha, so central region, Delhi comes in central region. Good. Rajasthan also comes in central region, na?
Yes, sir.
Good. Chalo, Medha, let us find out what is your location. I am assuming you are from Udaipur, Rajasthan, correct?
Yes, sir.
Let us read the definition. Please go ahead, Veda.
Location of the recipient of services means A. Where a supply is received at a place of business for which registration has been obtained, the location of such place is place of business.
Go
B.
ahead.
Where a supply is received at a place other than the place of business for which registration has been obtained, that is to say, a fixed establishment elsewhere, the location of such fixed establishment. C. Where a supply is received at more than one establishment, whether the place of business or fixed establishment, the location of the establishment most directly concerned with the receipt of the supply, and D. In absence of such places, the location of the usual place of residence of the recipient, section 2, subsection 14. So the
Okay.
definition of the fixed establishment for this purpose has been discussed above. The definition of place of business is discussed later.
Okay, we'll go to both these definitions. You keep yourself unmuted only. Now, um, interestingly, we have to understand what is Medha's place. But before that, you also have this last clause, which says the place of supply will be the place of residence. This, I think, many of people were confused in the previous example, where I had given example that office is in Delhi, but your residence is in Rajasthan. If you remember the previous example, in that example, but I said that you are unregistered in Delhi, then what will be the location of recipient? So some people said Rajasthan, assuming that the residence will be the place of recipient. That is okay. Residence is also one of the places which can be considered as location of recipient, but it will be considered only as the last option when above places are absent. So you have to first check ABC. If ABC is there, then place of residence can never be your location of recipient. And let me tell you, whatever we are reading for location of recipient, the same definition verbatim applies to location of supplier also. Now, how does this definition starts? We will read with A and C first because both are having some connection, and then we'll go to B, and last we'll come to C, right? So A says where a supply is received at a place of business for which registration has been obtained. Now I come to Medha's example, which we were discussing last. So Medha is from Udaipur, Rajasthan, registered there, correct? She has come to my place at Mumbai. But the point is, since she is having a place of business for which she has obtained a registration, the answer of location will always be location of such place of business, that is the place where Medha is registered. So irrespective of where Medha goes for taking the service, the place or the location will always be her registered address. I'll parallelly take the definition of location of supplier, taking my example. So I travel a lot across India for both, for engaging sessions, I travel a lot, and also for my work, that is consultancy. Now, in both cases, let us say I am invited to a place which is Bhilai in Chhattisgarh. So I travel from my place to Bhilai for some work over there. I do my work, I come back. Another example, I go to Kolkata for engaging a session, for taking a session. I take the session for 2 days, I come back. In both these cases, I am registered at Mumbai, Maharashtra. What will be the location of supplier? Again, clause A says, where a supply is made from a place of business for which registration has been obtained. What will be the location of supplier? It is the location of such place of business. Means what? Once you are having a registered office, registered means registered under GST law, not under any other law, then wherever you are going, either for supplying your service if you're a supplier, or for receiving the service if you're a recipient, for all such supplies, the location of supplier, like if I'm going to multiple places for giving my service, still the location of supplier will be my office, Mumbai, Maharashtra. So even though I'm physically in Kolkata delivering my session, or I'm physically in Bhilai doing some professional assignment over there, Like normally chartered accountants travel for doing professional work like audits, or in my case, consultancy. So we travel there, we physically go there, and over there we perform our service, but that does not decide the location of supplier. Similarly, in Medha's example, even though she is coming to my office to take the service, the location will always be her address, which is registered. I hope this is clear to everyone. There is no doubt, right? Now, along with this, I read C. Now, when C will apply, where let us say Medha has multiple offices which are registered. Yes, Anil will come to that part. That is what is clause B. I'll come to that, Anil. Just wait for a while. Let me go in a sequence. So now my second case is A was Medha is registered. So answer is Medha's place, which is Udaipur, Rajasthan, irrespective of where she is going to receive the service. Same thing when you are looking from supplier's point of view, irrespective of where I'm going to supply my service, the location of supplier will always remain my registered address. Now coming to clause C. Clause C is what if I have more than one offices. So let us say I have one registered office in Mumbai, I have another registered office in Delhi, I have another registered office in Coimbatore, I have another registered office in Ahmedabad, and I have another registered office in Kolkata. Let us say I have 5 offices. All are registered. Now, in such cases, a person from Rajasthan, let us say Pavani, she contacts me, ki sir, I need your services. And again, for that service, I traveled to Rajasthan. Let us say to a place called as Bikaner. Let us say Pavani is from there. Now I travel to Bikaner, and over there I stay for a week and I perform or execute my service. Now, in such a case, clause A is not going to help me. Why? Because I have more than one establishments. I have these multiple registrations. Now, in such cases, out of these multiple offices, which office will be considered as the location of supplier? The answer is the location of the establishment most directly connected with this supply. Now, which is this location? This is not defined anywhere in the law. I'll tell you practically how you identify it. No, Ashlesha, it is not correct. It purely depends upon the contract. Please understand this. I have 5 offices. My Mumbai office has contracted with Pavani for this particular work. So my Mumbai office will become the location of supplier. If my Kolkata office has contracted, my Kolkata office will become the location of supplier. Anil Beda, see, you are replacing this word with prominent. Now, what will be prominent? Again, that will be a question. I am giving you the simple answer. The answer is the office which has contracted for that work. So if I have multiple offices, whenever I'll sign a contract, I'll enter into a contract, I have to specify my address. Everywhere, every contract has the address details. I will obviously give, I may say that I have 10 offices, but while entering into contract, I will give one address. That address is the location of supplier. Same is for recipient. Where the supply is received at more than one establishment, it means the recipient has multiple offices. Again, which office of the recipient will be considered as location of recipient? It is same answer, which is most directly connected with the receipt of supply. Practically, it means the address which you give in the contract. Correct? Contract if from Delhi. Yes, so the place from where you enter into contract, Medha. So you have multiple offices. Now you are supplier as per your example. So the office which enters into contract with your client, that will be the location of supplier. So in your example, You have office in Rajasthan, you have office in Delhi. Now, if you are entering into the contract from Delhi office, so Delhi office will be treated as location of supplier. Same thing, location of recipient. If you are receiving office, means you are a recipient, you have multiple offices. In such cases, the location from where you enter into the contract will be the location. Now, Anil had asked a question, sir, okay, now you're talking about registered offices. What if my office is unregistered? This was my previous example where I'm just forgetting the name whose example I had taken, that you are a newly qualified CA, you are having residence in Rajasthan, but your office for which registration is not taken is in Delhi, right? I had taken this example before Medha's example. Now in this particular case, what will be the location of supplier or recipient? Here you have the definition in clause B which applies. So definition of clause B will apply. That, what is clause B saying? Sorry. Where a supply is made from a place other than the place of business for which registration has been taken. So if registration is not taken, then what will be the location? Answer is, it is still your office. It is still your office. Understand this. So where registration is not taken, that will be your location from where you are doing business. That is, it will still be your office. How? What it says? So where a supply is made from a place which is not registered, the answer is the location of such fixed establishment. So firstly, unregistered place, they have used the term fixed establishment. Fixed establishment means your office only. In such cases, again, your office is the location of supplier. Same thing is, it is also the location of recipient. See, supplier and recipient definitions are copy paste. They are same. So an unregistered office, they are calling it as a fixed establishment. Now they have also defined fixed establishment, which is here. So fixed establishment means a place other than the place of business, which is characterized by sufficient degree of permanence and suitable structure in terms of human and technical resource, either to supply the service or to receive and use the service. So what is a fixed establishment? It is that place for which you have not taken registration, okay, but it is characterized by sufficient degree of permanence and suitable structure. Now, what does it mean? What is permanence? From where you are planning to do your business, that is the place of permanence. And secondly, which is characterized by suitable structure, both in terms of human and technical resources, either to supply or to receive. So it is your office, because office only has that structure to either supply or receive the service. So this is what it means. Now, correct, students? So the point is, answering Anil, I hope now you got the answer, that where you are not registered in GST, still what will be the location, both of supplier and recipient? It will be the location of fixed establishment, which is nothing but your office address. I hope this is clear to all. And then when you read clause D, now clause D will make sense. In absence of such places. Now what are ABC? ABC, all three are your office, either registered or unregistered. Now when you don't have an office, so like you are just a newly qualified chartered accountant. Now generally what happens when a newly qualified chartered accountant starts, many times instead of investing in office or taking office on rent and increasing the overheads cost, what they do is they initially operate from their house. So you are not having any place of business. Then your place of residence will be the location of recipient or supplier. So students, I hope this is clear that location of recipient and even location of supplier, both will first, if you have an office, whether registered or unregistered, it will be your office. Where you don't have an office, it will be your usual place of residence. But what is very important is, in none of these cases, it will be the place where either you are delivering your service, if you are a supplier, or you are actually consuming or receiving the service if you are a recipient. That will never be the place. It will always be your office. Is this clear to all? Anybody, any questions or doubts with location? And that is where all my examples will now be clear. So irrespective of whether you are registered, unregistered, the place or the location of supplier, the location of recipient will always be your address. Correct? Only when you do not have an office, it will be your residence. Perfect, students? Understood? Clear? आगे बढ़े? Now, when both the locations are in India, so the A.R. Rahman sir's example, even though the concert has to be done outside India, but the supplier's location, recipient's location, both are in India, you will check section 12 only for determining place of supply. Okay? Now, we start with the place of supply provisions. Subsection 2, what it says, the place of supply of service except the services which are covered in 3 to 14. So basically 3 to 14 covers specific services, and if you are covered in any of these specific services, you will apply the rule given in this specific section. If not, you will come to subsection 2. So subsection 2 is the residuary section. We will come to that later because that will apply only when your service is not falling in that subsection, in any of these subsections, correct? So let us first go to the specific subsections, and we start with the first subsection. Now, what is this subsection 3 dealing with? It deals with the place of supply of service. What type of service? The service which has a direct relation to immovable property. Now, what are the services which are covered in subsection 3? First, services of architects who designed the property, services of interior decorators, surveyors, engineers, and other related experts. So these are all experts who are directly involved either in designing the property or in beautifying the property or in making some technical drawings, designs of the property, or surveying, measuring the property. So services of all these experts which are directly related to immovable property will be covered, and any services provided by way of grant of right to use the immovable property or carrying out or coordination of construction. So what else is covered? One, services of experts who are doing some service for the immovable property, that is covered. Second, what is covered in clause A is the services where you are using the immovable property. Like I am taking your property on rent, that will be covered because that will come in use, or it is for carrying out construction. So where I'm a builder developer and you have appointed me, hired me to construct your property, that is also covered. So clause A covers, in fact, firstly, entire subsection 3 covers services relating to immovable property. What type of services? That is given in ABC. A covers 3 services. One, services of experts whose service is directly related to immovable property. Second, services relating to use of immovable property. And third, services of construction of immovable property. Fourth, which is covered in clause B, where you stay in a hotel or in an inn or a guest house or some homestay or a club or campsite. So all these are places wherever you go out on a vacation or on some professional work or for any business trips, you stay in one of these places. So the stay service, the accommodation service, the lodging service will also be covered here. So subsection 3, clause B covers again services by way of staying in one of these places. And interestingly, it also includes staying in houseboats. Now, people from Kerala or Kashmir will know what are houseboats. Those who are not from these places, if you have visited these places, you will know houseboats. If that also is not done, then you can watch Bollywood movies where in some movies houseboats are shown, right? Next, what is covered in clause C? Again, services by way of accommodation in any movable property. Now, what type of accommodation it is? Organizing a marriage function. So here you are not staying. Here you are taking the property on rent for a day or 2 days or 3 days. Why? Because you want that property. Now, this is generally some hall, some big lawns which are taken by you for marriage or receptions or similar type of functions, or even official, social, cultural, religious, or business functions, including services provided in relation to such functions. So, where you are hiring, let us say, we were taking example of A.R. Rahman sir's concert. So, you as an organizer, one, you are hiring me so that I can come and perform. Another, you are hiring that particular place. So you, first example in Mumbai, you hired the Wankhede Stadium where this particular concert can be conducted. Second, you hired the Bharat Mandapam. So all that is covered in clause C, right? And then D says services which are ancillary to above services. Now for all these services, all these types of services which is relating to immovable property, what will be the place of supply? The place of supply is the location of the immovable property. And if you have taken accommodation in boat or vessel, it will be the boat or vessel. So the place of supply for all these services relating to immovable properties is the location of the immovable property. So if I've hired Wankhede Stadium for organizing the concert of A.R. Rahman sir, where is Wankhede Stadium? It is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. So the place of supply of this renting service is Mumbai, Maharashtra. If I travel to Kolkata and stay in a hotel in Kolkata, so the hotel charges, the place of supply will be Kolkata, West Bengal. If I'm going to Kerala and I'm staying in a houseboat, then the charges for staying in that houseboat will be location of the houseboat, which is Kerala. So wherever there is any of these services, the place of supply will be where that immobile property or that boat or that vessel is located. Example of vessel is, let us say I am going on a 3 days cruise and the cruise is going to be in the waters of Bombay. So the place of supply is where the vessel is, that is waters of Bombay. Now, there are two interesting parts in this. First is the first proviso. If the location of immovable property or boat or vessel is located or intended to be located outside India, the place of supply shall be the location of the recipient. Firstly, let me clarify. Even if the immovable property is outside India, still why are we checking section 12? Because the supplier and the recipient are of India. So I'll take an example. I am from Mumbai, Maharashtra. I am traveling for some professional work to Italy, where I need to stay there for some period of time. Mrs. Sanju is having her property in Italy. So she has some good bungalow over there. So I get to know that Mrs. Sanju is having bungalow over there. So I contact and I take her bungalow on rent. But Mrs. Sanju is from Delhi, India. So Mrs. Sanju, Delhi, India, I am the recipient of this service who is Mumbai, Maharashtra. But since I am traveling to Italy, I contact her and I take her bungalow on rent for a week. She charges me rupees 1 lakh. Now, in this case, firstly, whether you apply section 12 or 13, answer is section 12. Why? Because both the supplier and the recipient both are from India. So wherever the service is performed, we already discussed that will makes no difference. So even though the immobile property is outside India, you will determine the place of supply as per section 12. And then this proviso of subsection 3 of section 12 says, in such cases where the immobile property is outside India. So in my example, the immobile property is in Italy. The place of supply will be now the location of recipient, which is Mumbai, Maharashtra. And what is location? My office, registered, unregistered, any. So the place of supply for this renting service, this accommodation service will be Mumbai and not Italy. I hope this is clear. Further explanation, where immovable property or boat is located in more than one state. Now this is interesting. Now you'll say, sir, how this is possible? So this is possible with my last example of cruise. My cruise is from Bombay to Goa. So I take up the cruise. It is a 3 nights, 4 day cruise. And obviously I'll be staying on that cruise, which is a vessel, and the vessel will be traveling between two states, that is Maharashtra and Goa. Correct? Now, in this case, this explanation will come to use where the immovable property or boat is located in more than one state. The supply of service shall be treated as made in each of the states. So now whatever is my cruise charges, it has to be proportionated in both the states, that is Maharashtra and Goa. Now for this, how to proportionate? One, it says you have to check the terms of the contract. If something is provided in the terms of the contract, it will be proportionated on that basis. If not, you have to go on the basis as may be prescribed. And if you remember, I had mentioned at the start, whenever this term as may be prescribed is used, what it means? It means you have to check the rules. So there are some rules made in IGST rules which will help us identify what will be the place of supply in such cases where my immovable property or my ship, in my example the cruise, is in 2 or 3 states. Correct? That we will discuss in the next class. So yes, correct. So wherever it is prescribed, correct. So now you remember this Kabyajit, Kuldeep, that whenever it is saying prescribed, it means it will be as per the rules. Correct? So fine, students, we have our coordinator Shefali ma'am here. So, and it is also now I think 8:30. So see, I cannot uh, recall even the time. Even I don't know what the time is because you all are so responsive and you all are so much lively that the class for me is not, means I also am not able to keep the track of time. So that is great, students. So thank you very much, everyone. Let us connect again. And please, again, the same request, please read the entire module, go through all the examples, because there are some very beautiful examples and quizzes as we just experienced when Shamli asked one of the questions and it clarified it brought a new perspective and new understanding. So please read and also see, even though we have not covered the further rules, now see, these are very straightforward rules. You can read all the rules now, and means rules means all these provisions of place of supply, mainly from the points like the explanations given below this with all examples and all different scenarios. So I request students, you all come read with now this whole chapter, because next class will be the last class on this chapter and I want that it should also clear all your doubts. So please come read. Ma'am, when will be the next class on this topic?
Class will be on Thursday, sir.
Thursday. So
At
students,
uh,
so then you have a good sufficient time. So you can phase out the chapter, the pages, maybe 3, 4, 3, 4, not 3, 4, sorry, you'll have to read more because the chapter is lengthy. Maybe 8, 10 pages you can read in a day. Make your markings, write down your understanding in pencil, and also write down your queries if any. So that whenever we take in the next class, obviously we'll first start with revision. So in the revision, we will first take your previous, whatever we covered earlier, those doubts, and as I proceed with the remaining part, I will take the doubts on that part. Fine. Mustafa, thank you, Beda. You always have very high words, and I'm really obliged for all your high words. Thank you. Thank you, students. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. And as you rightly said, that session was also very interesting, and students are also very participative.
And students,
So
this batch is great, ma'am. It's an excellent batch.
actually, this
In
batch is actually very, very interactive,
very
very
interactive.
supportive, and they take interest in everything, and they respond also in the class.
Yes, that is the main thing, and that makes us lively. We also then
Yes.
don't because see, it is now evening. We all are tired, but I never feel tired
Mm.
even taking evening classes. Even today, right now, I can take for more 1.5 hour without feeling exhausted.
Yes, sir.
That is only
And same
because
is
of
true
the
for
energy
same
I
is
get.
true for them also, because if you ask them to stretch now, they will never say no. They don't ask for break. Most of them don't ask for break.
Yeah,
And
nobody
matlab,
asks
such
for
a
break. I
lovely
give them
batch.
break.
No, that is true that some of them require a break, because, but
Yeah,
otherwise, generally
it is
they
true.
try to accommodate to the extent possible. They are always interested in learning new things. Very, very responsive batch. We must say that. So, and in
And
fact,
we
you
are
made the class
fortunate to
very
get good
interactive.
students always. Even our previous batches were great. So it is
Ah,
really fortunate. And
hmm,
and that is the best motivation for teachers, ma'am, like us.
good.
That we want in Hindi we say na हमें गर्दी नहीं चाहिए, हमें दर्दी चाहिए. So हमें दर्दी चाहिए. Those who are really interested in learning. So whether
Hmm,
you are 50, 100 or 500, that makes no difference. And anyways, now because of our past batch experiences shared by students, even now our numbers are increasing. So we
hmm.
started with three,
Yes,
four,
sir.
and five students, and now
In
we are hitting more than 60 regularly. That is also a good sign. So I'm
And that
sure
is what we always suggest them, that they should attend the class live instead of
that makes a difference.
watching the recorded lectures, because in recorded lectures they can't ask their doubts, and some of the other doubts will always be postponed. They will feel in next class I will ask, and that next time will never come.
Never
So we
come, ma'am.
always suggest them to attend the class live. It will be very, very helpful to them. And now, in fact, most of them are following this advice also. You will see, and that is why number is high.
Yes, yes.
I mean, it is increasing in every class, almost in every
And
class.
despite of all their challenges, they are seeing to it that they be with us.
Yes, yes, that
Thank
is
you,
true.
Harsh Beda. Thank you for your comment. Thank you.
All of them are very, very supportive. So,
Yes, yes. And we are blessed to have such students, ma'am. It really means for teachers, this is a blessing. I believe so.
so I hope you found the class interesting, and you have learned all the place of supply provisions till section 12,
Well,
subsection C, immovable property. Now, rest of the provisions they will be covering in the next class, I suppose. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Good evening, Shamli. Good evening, Deepika. Good evening, Abhinav, Mustafa. Um, good evening, Anubhav. Anubhav is saying he can also stretch the class as much as if anybody wants. Mustafa, I can't get tired of sir both morning and evening session. Morning, okay. So he's saying that his mornings, Mustafa is also enjoying your morning session of costing also, and
Yeah,
in evening he's uh, studying place of supply from you. That is very nice of you, Mustafa.
yes. Thank you, Mustafa.
Okay,
In
thank you,
fact, many
Deepika.
students in the morning, when I was concluding, were saying that we are eager to attend your evening class. And the same is from my side. I was also eagerly waiting when the clock hits 6 o'clock and I start your batch.
So nice of you, sir. That is why students are also eager, because actually it works both ways. So when teacher is interested in teaching in a serious manner, then students are equally, they also get involved in the class. So good evening, Nausheen, Geeta, Prajyot, Medha. Oh, thank you, Medha. Uh, so morning session was also amazing and evening was also amazing. Good to see that. I'm very happy to see the feedback of this class. Good evening, Satish, Prerna, then Gopal, Santosh,
Best
and
part is they are also
Prajapati.
generous in sharing the views because many times people feel good, but they are less generous. So it is
Yeah.
good that the students are generous also in sharing the views. See,
And
whatever it is,
we always
even if
suggest
you
them to
want,
give the feedback in
yeah,
writing also,
and
because
even
that
if you want some
also
changes, students, we are open for that. So it is not that you should only give the good feedbacks. If you want any changes, whatever is possible. See, we are
both
human
kind of
beings.
feedbacks.
Yeah, so we are human beings then, and I always believe, despite of whatever teaching experience I may be having, there is always a scope for improvement. In fact, I improve with the comments of my students, both good also and learning comments also. So I'll take it always positively. So if you have any suggestions, obviously it should fit in our
Definitely,
parameters also.
definitely, you should suggest that. because that will also help in improving the classes, and this will be for your benefit only, because these classes are for you people. So if you
Exactly.
find anything interesting, anything good, that also you should share so that we can continue with the same. And if you want some improvement, some changes, something you wish to change, then you should suggest that also. That will help us in bringing best of these classes.
Exactly. Be generous in that also. And we are
Yes.
very open to that. All of us at BOS are open to that. We will not take it adversely. Don't feel that our name will get disclosed. So don't worry. You can. So that we will never take that. Let us say if you write some comments to BOS, I get a call from them, but no names are disclosed. They will just say, "Ki, sir, students were suggesting this." So you can
Mhm.
always write to BOS, and in fact, you can write here also to me directly. That is not a problem. Don't
Yes.
worry.
Yes, that is true. In fact, Kuldeep is asking that, Kuldeep, you have not got the study material on from the CDS portal, but have you ordered for the May 26 study material? Please let me know. If you have ordered, is it available on CDS? Because right now, currently, I have not, recently, I have not checked whether it is available on CDS or not. So please let me know if it is available and you have ordered, or is it the case that you want to say that it is not yet available on CDS? Please let me know. You have ordered. Okay, so it is available. You have ordered. It will be received very soon. Don't worry. It takes a time of around, I think, a week or maybe 15 days. So you will definitely receive it. In case you don't receive it, you can let us know. You know the email ID also. Okay, Prajyot is saying this was a wonderful session. Very good to know that, Prajyot. In fact, we want our classes to be the best classes. And Sony, good evening, Sony, Aditya, Amar, and Harsh. Okay, Harsh, uh, don't worry. So Vishal sir classes we are finding very good. That I am happy to see that. And in between, I will also be coming. I will also be taking some of the portions if possible. Don't worry. In fact, I was planning that if we could have some kind of a revision for the 4 topics which we have done. In next class, place of supply will be completed. So maybe we have a short quiz at the end of the class covering some of the quiz for all 4 topics, or if possible, only for place of supply, testing the place of supply provision. So that we'll definitely try. Okay. So Anubhav, this yes was for the revision class, I suppose. Okay, you missed the no, Mustafa. I think you must have given it in first 2-3 classes. I had taken GST Titan quiz. Have you not yet appeared for GST Titan quiz? Don't worry, we'll conduct it in future classes. Okay. So we'll try to have that kind of a class where all the topics which have been covered through questions or through some concepts can be revised. In fact, Harsh has asked me for that composition scheme. A brief I had given to him, but if possible, we can have a separate session, not for composition, but for revision or for some doubt kind of a doubt solving session or problem solving session type of a class we can have. Okay. So Kuldeep is saying BOS is wonderful. Please convey my thanks to Vishwanath sir. Okay. So Vishwanath sir is for which subject? Kuldeep, I'm not aware. So you can let me know the subject also so that I can actually convey the concerned person. Okay, revision session. Okay, Medha. So you also want Medha, you had asked me about one query which I remember about the taxes to be subsumed. You still have that query, you can write it. Okay, you conduct. Uh, Okay, you have so Mustafa, you have been part of the GST Titan quiz, but right now you want more of those quizzes. Okay. Deepika want to have videos relating which I had made for chapter 1. In fact, for chapter 2 also I had made 2 videos with Deepika. For upcoming topics, you want such videos, I will try to make such videos. In between the session, we can have those videos. So you found that those videos interesting. Good to know that, because that will help me in knowing that yes, those videos were actually, they gained your interest. Okay. इंग्लिश में है या हिंदी भी संतोष एक्चुअली प्राइमरी मोड ऑफ डिलीवरी इज इंग्लिश बट इन बिटवीन हिंदी इज ऑल्सो यूज्ड जहां आपको लगता है कि आपको टॉपिक हिंदी में समझना है मतलब तो आप उसको बीच में आप मैसेज कर सकते हैं सर को ही विल एक्सप्लेन द कॉन्सेप्ट इन हिंदी डोंट वरी बट हाँ प्राइमरली हम हिंदी में इंग्लिश में रखते हैं क्योंकि many students are there who belong to southern belt. They don't understand Hindi, so they feel that they are missing out on something. So we always try that whatever we are telling in Hindi should always be communicated in English also, but sometimes they feel that way. So आपको जहां भी लगता है कि आपको कोई चीज हिंदी इंग्लिश में नहीं अभी समझ में आई है ठीक से आपको हिंदी में चाहिए तो स्पेसिफिकली आप मैसेज जरूर करें. Okay, Vishwanath sir is taking law sessions. Kuldeep, I will definitely, in July, he took those sessions. Definitely, I will communicate to the law faculty so that they can communicate to Vishwanath sir. And I would suggest you to fill the feedback for the concerned faculty so that this can be communicated to the higher authorities also that his sessions are being liked by the students. Okay. 25 study material, Aditya, is relevant till January 2026 examination. If you are appearing for May 26 examination, then you should refer the 25 study material. When you are saying, are you referring to July 25 edition of the study material, Aditya, or are you referring to the study material which mentions that it is relevant for May 25, September 25 and January 26? Please let me know. Okay, Kuldeep. So you are finding all faculties wonderful. In fact, that is so nice of you. And I request you to please share the feedback for all the faculties which you are, for whose classes you are attending. And okay. Yes, Amar, notes have been uploaded on the BOS. In fact, for 8th August class, notes I think they would have been uploaded. I have to check. I have given it to the concerned person to upload, but let me check if they have been uploaded, or otherwise by tomorrow they will be uploaded. Okay, September 26th. For September 26th, July 2025 edition is applicable, and that is applicable for May 26, September 26, and January 27. So for 3 consecutive attempts, same edition of study material applies. What changes is the statutory update. So you will be given statutory update separately for each examination. Along with the study material, you should refer the statutory update. And as I always suggest, once your class is over, you should go through the study material, go through each and every page, and try to make your own notes or summary material, which will be helpful day before examination. So that activity or that process has to be done now, because that will be helpful day before examination or during the revision time. So there's some very comprehensive revision material should be there in the form of notes. Okay. May 26 books, Prerna, I think they might be available on CDS, because I have just seen a message from one of you that he has ordered May 26, but he has not yet received it. So please check it on CDS once. If you did not find it, then you can send us a message at inter-IDT. We'll see, look into it. Okay, Aditya. Harsh. Okay, don't miss my GST Titan quiz. I will try my best to conduct a GST Titan quiz in the next class. So come prepared with place of supply provisions which you have read till now. Plus attend the next class very attentively. So I will try to conduct the quiz for place of supply only, because some students who have not done the earlier classes, they might find the quiz difficult if I conduct it for all 4 topics. So I will restrict the quiz till for place of supply only in next class. And regarding the revision, we'll see if we can conduct some class for all of you. Ma'am, I think Mustafa is saying, ma'am, if we get AIRs in this batch in May 26, you will get more and more students. Definitely. And in fact, our aim is not to get more students. Our aim is to lead all of you to success. So our aim is that you do very well in your exams, and then, yes, your success story inspire others to go for these classes, because we are doing this for your benefit only. You know that these classes are only for students' benefit. So if you can inspire other students to join these classes, in fact, what you can do is you can share your feedback about the classes, not only to our portal, but to your fellow friends also, that you are finding these classes useful and they can also attend these classes. By word of mouth, you can spread that, yes, the classes are being useful to you. Okay, May 26 classes, Shamli saying, are not yet available. So very soon they will be available, because we are constantly in touch with EDS portal team, and they are saying they will make it available. Okay, Prerna has also checked it's not there. So please bear with us. It will very soon be available. Yes, sir.
There is one request regularly that people want it to be conducted in Hindi. So how can we do that? Because then many times repetition may not be possible in the given time. So
yes, sir, this suggestion, actually, this thing, in fact, our management also know this thing. But they are also considering how this can be taken care of. For the timing, what we have thought is, because there is always certain students who don't understand Hindi at all. So they always get this feel that they have missed out something. In fact, whenever I try to use something, explain something in Hindi, I immediately get a message from someone that please explain in English.
That is the main thing. Main challenge with me also.
And it is very fair on their part also, because they might feel that they are missing something.
Exactly.
So they are not understanding Hindi. But for the timing, we always explain the students that whatever we are telling in Hindi will always be communicated in English also, so you're not missing out
Exactly,
anything.
exactly.
Abhi to we have to work it out this way.
Ma'am,
But हाँ,
is there an option on the YouTube that if they go for that some transcript option, whether YouTube provides that option of converting it
I have to
into
check that
Hindi
out, sir.
or
I have to check. हाँ, अगर ऐसा कोई
we
ऑप्शन YouTube में है तो रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर में आप हिंदी में देख सकते हो.
I think maybe if they can just check someone or someone can update because people are more updated than us. Than many people. I take
If
suggestions
any
from
of
them
you,
during the
if any
class.
of the students are updated, I have started getting messages. Medha is saying, no, ma'am, no such option is there. Anubhav
Oh,
is saying it's available. And Anubhav, can you share a bit detail? You can unmute
exactly.
yourself, Anubhav, and you can tell others how is it possible.
Yes, yes,
One
please.
person, अच्छा, one person is saying the वो subtitles जो आते हैं. There
That
is
is what I'm
option.
saying. It is about subtitles only. I'm
Mustafa
saying.
is
You're right.
telling कि वो जो subtitles वाला option है, there you can do.
Yes, I'm talking about subtitles.
Kuldeep is saying faculties are requested to share their own stories, how they studied in past to motivate us. That we'll definitely do. Sir can share his story in some of
Yes.
maybe next class, sir, you can start with that only. Briefly telling them the story, how you succeeded and what were the steps you took for clearing the papers. So that we can definitely do. So Medha
Or
is saying
we can
subtitles.
keep a special session, ma'am, on a day because many times.
That also we can do. Or sometimes if the topic is completed early, then also
if it is
that time
completed
we can
early,
share.
right?
Then we can share.
Because I'll
Harsh
not prefer talking something which is not part of this at the start because what happens then your mind and your mood changes both of the faculty and of the student. I may not be able to focus so much on my subject or maybe the students may get emotional or get carried away both. So I will not prefer discussing any such thing at least at the start. This is
So in
my
any
methodology.
of the doubt session or in any of the revisionary classes,
Yeah.
we can do that. So definitely we'll do that. If you are finding it inspiring, we'll definitely do that. Harsh is
Definitely.
saying no need to use Hindi. Your English is so sweet that we all get understand in very one go. And Star's English is also very good. Chalo, good.
Hey, Harsh,
But
beta, you are right. But what happens at times, certain things may be difficult even in simple English. See, I'll be very frank, it happened with me also in my initial days. And I always say that if you want to bring something from here to your heart, it always comes only through your mother language, mother tongue. So I always, in fact, I myself do that. When I'm reading anything very technical, I try to convert it to the language which is more comfortable to me, which now has become English, but earlier it was Hindi. So I always convert it into Hindi and there is no problem because then only it will get absorbed. Otherwise, it will only be here and whatever is here will get evaporated because this is the most sublime thing, I think, in your body, the most sublime organ. But if something goes to your heart, it will be there permanent.
And whatever comes to your mind in the class, you should share it in the chat box.
Yes.
Never shy away from sharing it. आपको कोई चीज समझ में नहीं आ रही है, आपको लगता है सबको समझ में आ गई है, मुझे ही समझ में नहीं आई है, मे बी इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ हिंदी, मे बी इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ एनी अदर रीजन, आपने पुरानी क्लासेस नहीं की है, बट जब तक आपका डाउट क्लियर नहीं होता, यू शुड डेफिनेटली मेंशन इट इन दी चैट बॉक्स, क्योंकि आपको अपने मतलब अपना जो भी वो है ना व्यू, वो जरूर शेयर करना है क्लास के बीच में. So don't shy away because basically generally we from last few classes we had started that message should be given in everyone's chat so that we can keep a track of it. Actually, otherwise in Zoom now everybody's specifically we have to click on that person's chat and we have to see it. So that is why for ease of the faculty we had started it for everyone's option. But there also you should share whatever you are feeling or whatever, if you are not getting any point, then there itself you should mention it. So I think Abhinav is also saying some Zoom option can also be there. So that we have to see. We'll check with our technical person and we'll let you all know. Okay. So thank you, Mustafa. Also suggestions. One person was saying that WhatsApp group link he wants. So Ajit, if you can share the WhatsApp group link once again in the chat box so that students can get it and they can join the WhatsApp group. Medha is saying also suggestions about which group we should go for initially. Okay, for that, Medha, we'll have a separate session, and maybe we might not have it live or we'll not have it on YouTube. We can have a separate class with students on Zoom only, where you can unmute and you can ask your doubts.
Yeah, that day we can keep everyone on unmute option, or maybe on hand raise we can unmute, and because that will be more personal and it has to be face to face more. In fact, I'll be happy where if one of the session students are also, I can also see their faces. the beautiful faces of everyone,
Yes,
because
yes.
it helps. You remember students more. Rather than by name, I have more picture memory always.
This suggestion was given by one of the students in feedback that if we can have everybody's video also
In
on,
fact,
that gives a
right now
feeling
also,
of a
because
class.
we are talking casually, so if even right now we can allow them, and if students are interested,
Any those of those who are comfortable in switching off
obviously those who are comfortable,
on their
we can,
video. Hmm.
or we can even means give them the option. And
Mustafa is telling that you had become a chartered accountant even before he was born. So they are. So that is true. That you all are very young.
yes,
Okay. So if you
but
want to switch
somehow
on.
we don't feel the age gap, the way these students interact with us, and that what's in fact make us feel young, same like of their age.
That is true, sir, and that helps. That actually motivates us to
Yes.
take such sessions. So, Amar, actually, notes, as I already told you, that I have given it to the concerned person for uploading, but maybe by tomorrow they might get uploaded. You are asking for my session notes, na, I suppose. So, they will be uploaded by maybe by tomorrow. They will be uploaded. I will try my best to get them uploaded. Okay, and if any of you want to share their feedback about the classes by unmuting yourself, you
Yes,
can.
and also if anybody wants to put on the video, you can raise your hand, or I don't know whether they can do it directly.
Otherwise, they can unmute. At least they can unmute themselves to
Yes.
share their
Yes, definitely.
views. Yes, sir. Anubhav, yeah, you found this suggestion good. Yes, somebody has unmuted, I suppose. Yes, Medha, that session we'll have next week. We'll try to have it in next week for where we can have the informal interaction regarding how you can prepare for the exams, what are the tips for the exams. In fact, we have success at CA exam sessions specifically dedicated for this purpose, that how you have to prepare for the exams. So for that purpose, you should, but that will be conducted for each examination that is conducted around 1 month back. So for September examination, we have already conducted 2 success at CA exam session where we generally share the examination tips. And one specific subject wise guidance we had given, best is yet to come series was there in the month of July. Immediately after the result, one series was conducted, best is yet to come. That was very almost half an hour for every subject. Subject wise guidance was given to the students to tell them that what better they can do for succeeding in the forthcoming examination who have not succeeded in the previous examination. So that also you can watch that recorded lecture, or in the forthcoming examinations also we might have success at CA examination, that session, those sessions you can watch. We'll try to have some more sessions specifically for this class for GST purpose we can have it. So question bank, Aditya, is there in the study material itself. So we don't have any separate question bank right now. It is there in the study material. Okay. So I think we can share this feedback. We can share in the next session. The students can unmute themselves and they can share the feedback. They can have their videos also switched on. So I think we can.
They can dress well and be in a good presentable state, and then we can have that video session.
Whichever way they like.
Yes, yeah, whichever. So you can give them a date. That day means they can be prepared for the video session.
So just one more point before winding up. Mustafa is mentioning you have got some, you have been awarded in 2022 some National Taxation Award you have got. So he's aware of that. He has informed me. I think he would have mentioned in your chat also.
Okay, maybe I'll just check the chat.
Anil is saying he's a UPSC aspirant and recently into CA. Okay.
Oh, great.
Definitely.
That's a good combination.
That is a good combination and will definitely guide you how to prepare for the examination. So
in fact, I think we have a special committee also, na, ma'am, for CAs who are aspiring to be in public service.
Maybe, sir. I have to specifically.
Because I was a part of one of their sessions. They had invited me for some topics, so I remember.
In next class, I will let him know so that he can also get some specific guidance for that. So I think we can wind up the session now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, students, for your patient listening. Next class will be on case of supply again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Take
Thank
care.
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you, Ashok ji. Good night to you.
Hmm.
Thank you.